Have you ever read the classic children's storybook called Stone Soup? Stone Soup is an oldie but a goodie, and it is a European folk story about, really, it's about the value of sharing. But just to give a little background in case you're not familiar with the story, I'm going to give kind of a brief synopsis, but it's there's lots of different renditions of Stone Soup, but the one that I've read to my kids is there's three soldiers, and they are coming up on this approaching a little village. And they are very, very hungry. They're weary from battle. They're thirsty. They're tired. So they approach this village, and the villagers see the soldiers coming. And they think, oh, we do not have a lot to share with these soldiers. They're going to be hungry. They're going to be asking. So as the soldiers come up to the villagers' homes and knock on the door for a piece of bread or something, the villagers say, we don't have much to give you. Crops weren't good this year, whatever the excuse is, but they don't want to share what they have with the soldiers. So the soldiers have been around, a time or two, and they have with them a stone in which one of the soldiers says, I can make you the best soup that you've ever smelled and the most delicious soup that you have ever tasted, but I'm short a few ingredients. And so they say, "We're going to make soup with a stone?" And he's now perked their interest. Yes, oh yes, yes, yes. And one says, "Well, I want to see this. I'll run and get you the pot." Goes home, brings out this big old pot, and soldier says, "Why, thank you." He places the stone in the soup, and villager gets him a spoon to stir it with, and somebody says, "Well, you're going to need some water in there. I'll go get my water," and pours the water in, stirring the soup, and well, goodness, that soup's not going to taste very good without the best ingredient in the world for seasoning. Somebody goes home, another villager goes and gets the salt and pours it in. Oh, of course, no soup without a pepper. Another villager goes home and gets her pepper, and oh, now it's starting to smell and resemble a little bit more like soup. And well, if this is going to be soup for everybody, if this is going to be a flavorful soup, nothing better than an onion to flavor a soup. And another family goes home and gets their onion to add to the soup. And so the villagers start going home, and somebody gets a potato. Oh, let's add some carrots in there. Oh, I've got a tomato. All right, these aren't the actual real things, right, that are in the story, but it's similar. Somebody goes and gets, who doesn't like soup without crackers? Come on, you gotta have these. So as the ingredients start to simmer, everybody smells the aroma of the soup, and soldier takes a taste of it. Oh, it's really coming along. This is going to be the best soup you've ever had. And the villagers go and they set up a long table in the middle of the village. There's a seat for everybody. There's bowls for everybody, and they start spooning up this soup, and everybody sits down to enjoy the most delicious soup that they've ever had. And it was only delicious because everybody brought something, and everybody brought what little they had. Individually, all the villagers thought, what, onion doesn't make a very good dinner, or potato isn't something I can share with everybody, or a carrot isn't very good on its own. But together, mixed in the pot, simmered down, it made a delicious soup because everybody contributed what they had, as insignificant as they thought it was. The little cracker, who's gonna want this? Who's gonna care about this? Oh, I'll tell you what, I bet that cracker tasted really good. and made somebody's day. Kids love crackers in their soup. Some kid was happy that day. So why the story of Stone Soup? Well, Stone Soup has a lot of morals, has a lot of lessons for us. That's why it's a classic. It's a timeless book, a timeless story. But I think all of us can relate to the fact that sometimes we look at our lives and we think, my life is like this onion. Like, what, who wants, what can my life bring to somebody else's? What does my life matter in the scope of this entire world, or in the scope of all of time, across all of time? What importance, what value is my life, or my life experiences? The good, the bad, the ups, the downs. What are these experiences good for? What value do they have for anybody else? And Stone Soup is this reminder that even as insignificant as we think our individual lives are, that when we share our ups and downs, when we share the positive and the negatives, when we share the good and the bad with one another, it makes our lives as a collective, it makes our lives richer for it. It adds to our life experience. And something else I like about this story is that there was a domino effect that occurred. The soldier that brought the stone, what did this really add to the soup except that it got others to bring what they had? So the soldier that put the stone in the pot caused the woman to go home and get her onion, who then the family that had the potatoes said, oh, we can put a couple of those in. And then somebody said, well, I can go get my salt. And you see what I'm saying, so on and so forth. So what I'm saying is, if you be the first. It's not always easy to be the first person to share something. But you and I, if we can be the people in this world that will share the good and the bad with others around us, it's going to cause a ripple effect. It's going to be a domino effect. And someone's going to say, you know what, because you shared that, it impacted me. I see things differently. Or I felt brave enough to share something. Or that really encouraged me. Thank you. And then they go and they share that encouragement with somebody else who needed to hear it. And so the domino effect happens. And so I guess today it's a thought about thinking about how insignificant at times we can feel our lives are, or how insignificant at times we can feel our life experiences are. Well, what good is that experience? I'm saying here today, don't discount what life has thrown at you. Because if you'll share it in the right time, the right moment, but if you'll share it, just like Stone Soup, it's going to add richness to somebody else's life. It's going to add richness to the lives of people around you. And you just might encourage somebody. Not only encourage them, but you might encourage them to bring what they have and share it and enrich all of our lives with what they have to share as well. Just something to think about today.